Our monitors now take us live to the White House, where we just heard from White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre reiterating support for communities affected by Hurricanes Helene and Milton. She also echoed calls for Congress to fund the disaster loan program and many other topics. CBS News chief correspondent for the White House, Nancy Cordes, was in that briefing room. You stepped out on the White House lawn to talk to us. We heard you get a couple of questions in, but let's start with that question you asked about the letter sent by the United States to Israel regarding getting more humanitarian aid into Gaza, potentially causing our ability to, and willingness to send more military aid to Israel on the line there. What did they have to say?
Right. So I asked Karine Jean-Pierre, Reed, about this, a pretty pointed letter that was sent by the Secretaries of Defense and State to the Israeli government, basically telling them, hey, if you don't start allowing more humanitarian aid to flow into Gaza, then the U.S. is going to have to reevaluate the massive amounts of aid that we send to you every month. And they gave Israel about a month until right after Election Day to show significant progress. And so I asked Karine Jean-Pierre about the timing of the letter, about whether they had gotten any response from the Israelis. She really wouldn't get into that, but she did argue that they have sent a letter like this once before, back in April. They felt that they got some results then. They have seen a reduction in humanitarian aid being allowed to get into Gaza again, and so that's why they felt that they needed to send this letter now. So we'll see if the Israelis take any concrete steps to react and how concerned they are that U.S. military aid really could be on the line here.
All right, so a lot on the line with elections just, 29 days away. President Joe Biden yesterday in the state of Philadelphia. We understand he's going to be out on the campaign trail helping to make those closing arguments more and more in the coming days. Specific to Pennsylvania, why is his presence so crucial?
Well, in Pennsylvania is crucial because Pennsylvania considers him something of a native son. He always talks about the fact that he grew up in Scranton before he ended up moving to Delaware, which he represented in the Senate for so many decades. And so he does have favored son status in Pennsylvania. That's why you'll see him go back there again and again. And more broadly, throughout the country, in battleground states, he can sometimes say things even more sharply than Kamala Harris herself might. For example, yesterday at a campaign event, he called Trump a loser. He brought up the fact that Trump was swaying to music for about half an hour on the stage the other night with a crowd. He said, what's wrong with this guy? So, he's got this plain spoken style that the campaign hopes will be an asset. And really his own legacy is on the line here, because if Donald Trump is elected, he'll probably try to roll back a lot of things that Joe Biden did. And so he's got a lot of self-interest here in trying to get Kamala Harris across the finish line.
One of the last chapters, speaking of his legacy and his presidency, will be aid to the people who are so ravaged by the hurricanes, Helene and Milton. He talked about an aid package. What can you tell us more about that?
Right. He said that billions more will be going to Florida, will be going to the multiple states that were impacted by Hurricane Helene, trying to send a message to disaster victims there that the U.S. government is not going to forget about them, that despite the fact that Congress isn't rushing back, Reed, to pass some kind of major disaster relief package, that the U.S. is still on their side and that aid is coming one way or another, even if Congress doesn't actually end up voting on it until after Election Day.
Nancy Cordes from the White House lawn, fresh from the update from Karine Jean-Pierre there in the White House briefing room. As always, an honor to have you on the stream. Thank you so much.